Hello there, friends. Today is March 12th, 2024, and today we are going to discuss 11 different Victor Wembanyama rookie cards from the 2023 Donruss set. We are going to establish some comps. We'll discuss what fair value is for it both in person as well as through eBay sales, and some first, second, third, and final offers that I consider to be important. So let's just jump right into it and discuss this 2023 Panini Donruss card number 222. This is the rated rookie. This is one of the most common cards that you will see. We're going to use this card to explain what this table is all about. First, I've taken 15 comps that are all auctions that were completed through eBay. This is how I create my comp list. So 15 of them. All of them are listed here along with their shipping as well as their total. Now, down beneath here, you will see various colors. These are the most important numbers on this table. So this blue, for instance, this represents the average bid price somebody had to make in order to win one of these cards through auction. And again, I only do auction. I don't do buy it now. I don't do best offer. I just do auction because I like to see that supply and demand. I want to see bidders going against each other. So, on average, somebody had to pay $13.72 in order to win an auction for this card. Shipping on average came to $2.40 for a total out the door, delivered to your front stoop, $16.12. Now, are these numbers what I would consider to be fair value for this card? Most certainly not, because this doesn't take into consideration that sellers have fees, right? So when you list on eBay, you've got an insertion fee. You also have a percentage fee that comes right off the top. That's usually in the ballpark of about 13 to 15% is what sellers are paying right off the top. So that brings their take home down to what this orange number is right here. That's $11.61. This is what I would consider to be fair value for this card. So is that what I want to pay for it? Of course not. If I'm in person at a card store or a sale or a trading event, I usually employ a stoplight styled offer sheet. So this is green, yellow, red. Obviously, green means go, yellow means slow, and red means hard stop. So first offer for me is a 70% price point. That comes to $9.61. And again, this is a 70% price point of the blue number. So $9.61 is my first offer. Yellow is my second offer, $10.29. And red is going to be my hard stop typically. So $10.98 is a third and final offer. Now, I also like to implement one other rule. I always like to get into the bottom third of sales. So I'm going to sort this column ascending, so meaning from the bottom up is what we're seeing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go down 5, $9.68 gets me into the bottom third of sales. Now that is just above this first offer, this green 70%. That means this is actually going to be my new final offer. Okay, does that make sense? I want to get in the bottom third. I want to sell in the top third. So I go from the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $12.28 could net me a little less than a $3 profit margin. And if we swing over here to this side, this $14.50 represent what I could sell it for as a buy it now through eBay and still net this $12.28 after my fees are taken out of the equation. Okay? Now I know that's a lot of information, but now that we know that, the rest of these cards will go a lot faster. In fact, I'll probably only talk about this first offer and then we'll find out what our final bottom third offer will be when we talk about the rest of the cards. Now we do have a graph down here, but this usually only becomes useful when you've got a card that's usually a shorter print version and there's not very many comps that happen within the same day. In fact, usually this is the most useful when 15 comps happen within a month or two of each other, because then you can see a true supply and demand wave. This is just all happening on one day, so it's not as useful. But you can see that on occasion, you have the shipping fees taking a big bite out of what you're spending. So for me, I know people have a problem with this, but I like to make sure that my shipping is going to be close to that $1.12 range. That way I know that I have true value invested in the actual card, not on just getting it to my home. All right, so next card that we're going to take a look at here is going to be the franchise features. This is card number 29. Pretty cool card. Unfortunately, as is usual with these Victor Wembanyama cards, it seems like we've got that black curtain. I know. One of the biggest superstars or potential superstars in the game, and they all have black curtains behind them. It's a bummer, but we just have to deal with it. Cool looking card otherwise. Obviously, that black curtain goes well with the Spurs uniform, so can't complain on that. Now, blue is going to be our eBay offer or eBay bid, $7.10. We've got seller take home of $5.86 and a first offer of $4.97. Let's get in on the bottom third here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $5.33. So that's right at 75% is going to be my final offer. I can get a first and a second offering on this card, but I'm hard stopping again at $5.33 so I can make sure I get into the bottom third of sales. From the bottom here, we go up. $6.21 gets me into the top third of sales, only netting me less than $1, and that equates to a $7.50 eBay buy it now. So that one a little bit easier to understand, right? Again, we've got a chart down here, but all of these happen on the same day, so it's not as useful. Eventually, we'll find some that have happened over the course of maybe a month or two in this video, and it'll make more sense. So, final offer on this, $5.33, looking for $7.50, buy it now. We've got a great X-Pectations here, and this one is relatively plentiful. I think the card is cool looking. I think it does him justice. He doesn't just look like a scrawny little toothpick in this picture, which is great. And you also have the white edges on this card, making it a little easier to grade, in my opinion, or typically. I have yet to grade one of these myself, but I would imagine since you don't have that dark edge to it, you're going to get a lot more relief on the edge scores. So this is a Donruss card number 10 from the Great X-Pectations set. Looks like average bid was going to be $7.58. Take home $6.26 for the seller. First offer $5.31. And sort ascending on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $5.13. Looks like we are even below the green. So for me personally, I'm doing a first and final offer of $5.31 on this card. And I will sell it for about $7.07. So $1.50 in profit, or $8.50. Buy it now. Hardwood Masters, again, the curtain in the background. Bummer once more. This is card number 3. We're going to type rookie here because I like to make sure that that is listed there. All right. So now that we've edited a little bit, we have first, winning bid is going to be $11.69. Take home $9.84 for the sellers. First offer $8.18. I have a feeling we'll be a little closer to the red on this one if we sort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was wrong. I was very wrong on that. So again, we're underneath the green, which you will see with these more common cards out there. You'll see a lot of this where you'll be able to get in on the low end of the offer sheet. So $8.18 is my new last offer to make sure that I get myself into the bottom third of sales. And we can sell at $10.98 to net us about $2.75. That equates to a $13 buy it now. Again, all of these happened, well, actually we had a few days. So let's address the wave that we've got here. So all of these, actually I want to sort by a different, let's sort ascending from the date here, okay? So this is more true, this is a more accurate, I just had my alarm go off. All right, this is more accurate wave that we're seeing here. So we've got ups and downs. The low, we've got about an $8 low, a high $19.50. So when you have swings in this of about 150%, that is where you can find a way to finagle your profits on these, more mass-produced, highly supplied cards. If you have a tight sales graph here, then you're really looking at supply and demand being relatively balanced, and you have a hard time making a higher percentage when you do go to sell. So I do like a wave. I do like to see about 100% swing from low to high, at least, in order to make some money on these smaller or these higher supplied cards, more base set versions. Next card, we've got the Magicians. I do love this card. This is one of my favorites. Again, I just wish they would have edited out the curtain. I know you're going to hear me say that a lot. I'm sorry. So for this card, 1034, which surprised me as an average bid price. I thought this card would have more draw, especially when you consider it's card number 1, right? You've got the jersey match on that, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem that way. Well, or fortunately for us, because then we can get our hands on it at a cheaper price. $8.67 is going to be seller take home. First offer, $7.24. And we've got sort ascending here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again, getting in below first offer. So green is my first and final offer. We can also sell that for about $8.18 or $10.50 in a buy it now in order to make, $1.50 in profit. This is a cool looking card. Again, you do have some darker edges to it, so if you are looking to grade, this one will probably be a little bit more difficult to make happen. We're going to skip the graph on this one. Again, all of it happened within the same day. Now, we have something that's a little harder to get your hands on here. I think this card is so cool. Why? Because you've got the no autograph on here. Wemby has made a decision that I fully approve, and he's not sitting in his living room just signing a stack of stickers. Thank you. Thank you so much. He's made that decision that he's not going to be going out and doing mass signings on cards such as this, and that I am grateful for. Only had about 6 recent sales on this card. This is a very hard card to find, but we are seeing an average price point of $825.63. I think the no autograph is actually helping to bring this up, because mentally people are thinking, well, this should be an autograph card, right? And so I think it still is a huge draw for people, a very cool card. I'm looking to get my hands on one. I just think it will have staying power just for how unique it is with that no autograph typeface on it. So sellers are taking home $715.93. First offer, $577.94. Probably going to have to be a little flexible on this card just because we don't have all the comps and it is in such high demand. Let's sort ascending here. 1, 2, 3 would get us in the bottom half of sales, right? So 683.09 would be where we're sitting on that, and that is going to fall between my hard stop and my orange. Of course, I could do that 502, but you're probably looking, it's probably going to be very difficult to make happen. These sales did happen most recently, so there is some potential on that, but you are going to be fighting a lot of people to get this card, and you got to be at the right spot at the right time. Okay, so our graph here, we are seeing, we got to sort this the correct way. Like I said, we are seeing that drop off here, which means we might be able to get our hands on it. I'd like to see maybe about 3 or 4 more comps hit the market before I'm going to jump in on something, because I want to see if this is where we're leveling off. Are we leveling off closer to that $500-$600 range? Sign me up, because I will take it, right? I definitely will. Next card, we've got another cool one, and this one I deviated from my standard. I know. As you can see, we only have 3 sales here, and one of them in the pink here is going to be a buy it now. I just had to do it because I think this card has that it factor to it, that if you can get your hands on it or if you can pull it somehow, nicely done. Has that cartoon figure, almost has that color splash to it as well. Very cool card, but it's going to go for a couple grand. $19.64 is going to be your average bid price. Honestly, these don't matter to me right now. There's only 3 comps. Sellers are taking home 1703.47. I call that fair value. If I can get my hands on this card for that much, I will take it. A super, super short print, card number 4 within the animation series. Night Moves is next. Again, had a hard time finding everything. We're closer to that $700 range on average for a bid price, $693.79. Sellers are taking home right around $600. First offer is $485, and we can find the bottom third right now. Even though there's not enough here, we'll go down 3. So 517.60 is going to fall right between green and yellow. So 517 is my first and final offer in person, and you're going to be looking for about 710 if you want to go around selling it. So make a couple $100. Yeah, more power to you if you can get your hands on this card. Again, we're not seeing very many of these hit in the market. Also, not very many graded. That dark edge is going to be proving to be a difficult thing to overcome. But if you find a PSA 10, that is going to be stellar. All right. Next up, we've got the Retro Series. This is going to be card number 1 once again. Average bid price $11.13. Take home $9.35 for sellers, $7.79 first offer, and we have, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $7.72 right at that green. That is my hard stop now at green, $7.79. You could sell this card for about $9.68 to get in the top third of sales. Get yourself a couple dollars, or $11.50. Buy it now. The Rookies is next. This one also very, very common. Once again, falling within that $11 price range for bids. We're seeing, as far as these base cards with super high supply, $11 is a pretty consistent number thus far. Again, card number 1, so you've got that jersey match on it, so there's going to be some interest there. And then you also have $9.44 for take home for sellers. $7.86 is first offer. And we have $8.44. Lines up right with that yellow. So yellow is going to be my new hard stop, 75% payout, and then a $10.54 to get into the top third of sales. Couple dollars once more, a $12.50. Buy it now. And last but not least, we have, I think this is the last one. Let me take a peek. Yes, it is. We have the green Holo laser. This is that card that is right in that sweet spot for grading, for me personally. I think it's cool. Has the rated rookie to it. It's card number 220. Again, we had that as that base set rated rookie. This is that green Holo laser. $71.67 is going to be your average bid. That's usually where I like to be when I am considering PSA grading. That's a number that means I'm going to have some leeway, some flexibility if it grades out as a 10 or a 9, where I'm not just losing all kinds of money on the grading process. So sellers are taking home $61.88, and then first offer $50.17 in person. Sort of sending once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. $61.29 is going to get you into the bottom third of sales, which means that is above my usual hard stop red and almost approaching that seller take home average. So $61.88. I'm saying my hard stop on this card is going to be $57.34. If I can see a card that's particularly perfect, right? Fine, I'll go a little bit higher in order to get my hands on something that I can grade. But in general, that 80% price point is where I'm going to be stopping at. To get into the top third of sales, $64.76 would net me just a couple bucks at $75 in a buy now. Again, the lure for me on this card, which is why it's probably at the top of my list as far as things I want to get my hands on right now for trading, is the fact that I can grade it out and sort of cover those grading fees relatively easily. So that's it. That's 11 cards, I believe it was. Hopefully it was. Otherwise, I'm a liar. And I hope it helped you. It took a while to put together, so if you did enjoy it or you can use it, please do so. Also, let me know if you enjoyed it down below. I love kind words. I really do. I'm a sucker for them. And I hope you all have an amazing day. Take care, my friends.